Gentlemen, listen closely. What I'm about to share will shake you to your core. Right now, your wife could be having an affair, and you've missed every single sign. I know it sounds insane, but trust me, the truth is hidden in plain sight. Today, I'm revealing 10 hidden clues she uses to keep her betrayal invisible. These are subtle, sneaky moves you've never noticed. So, if you're ready to uncover the truth, hit that like button and subscribe. I'm the only one brave enough to expose this. And tell me, where are you watching from? I want to know what city you're in. Clue 1. The best friend alibi. Ever wonder why your wife spends so much time with her best friend every Thursday night? You've probably thought, it's just girls' time, she needs to unwind. But here's the truth. That girls' night is likely a carefully crafted cover-up for something much darker. The first trick they use is called the best friend alibi. And it's so well executed, you'll question every friendship she has. Picture this. Every Thursday, she tells you she's off to wine night with her best friend. You trust her. It's harmless, right? But what you don't realize is that her friend isn't just hanging out with her. She's acting as her accomplice, feeding you lies and even coaching your wife on how to hide her affair. When you text her during the night to check in, you get photos of empty wine glasses staged just for you, and the occasional "she's in the bathroom" excuse when you call. What's worse is that this isn't just a one-time thing. Her best friend knows everything, every date, every secret, and every carefully chosen lie. She's been trained to help your wife with the act, feeding her ideas to cover her tracks. And here's the kicker. Your wife talks about how much she appreciates her friend, how understanding and supportive she is. Little does she know, her friend is actually supporting her betrayal. The truly twisted part. You're not just being deceived by your wife. You're being manipulated by her best friend too. You think her friend is helping your marriage, but in reality, she's reinforcing the foundation of your wife's betrayal. But hold on, the next trick goes even deeper. You won't believe what happens when she starts manipulating your trust in technology. Clue 2. The phone shuffle. If you've ever caught her guarding her phone like it's Fort Knox, then it's time to wake up. The second trick is called the phone shuffle, and it's not just about deleting texts. It's about creating a whole parallel universe of lies that exists right under your nose. Your wife has turned into a digital magician, and you're the one left wondering how you missed it. Let's break this down. The moment you touch her phone, it's like she's caught in a trap. Her body tenses, her voice sharpens, and suddenly, her phone is locked, face down, or she's moving it out of your reach. Why? Because inside that phone is the evidence of a life you're not a part of. That doctor's appointment reminder on her calendar. That's not an appointment, that's her affair partner, David. The gym trainer texting her about a new schedule. That's David again, using a fake name to keep his identity hidden. But it gets worse. She's not just deleting texts, she's created secret messaging apps disguised as innocent ones, apps you'd never think to check. The expense tracker app. That's where she stores all her conversations with him. The period tracker. It's actually a hidden folder filled with photos, videos, and messages you'd never want to see. The most terrifying part? These apps are protected with passwords you'll never guess. What's even more chilling is the level of preparation. Every week she sends you photos, texts, and updates that feel personal, like she's keeping you in the loop. But what you don't know is that those sweet texts, they're pre-scheduled. Those pictures, they're from a photo shoot she did days ago, planned perfectly to make you feel emotionally connected to her. But this trick isn't just about keeping secrets. The next manipulation goes even deeper, and it involves her work. You won't believe how she's weaponized her career to hide this affair. Clue 3. The work overtime trick. You've always supported her career ambitions, right? Proud of the hours she puts in, the dedication she shows to her job. But here's the twist. The work overtime trick isn't just about her climbing the corporate ladder. It's a brilliant alibi. and you've been played like a fiddle. Every time she tells you she's staying late at the office, working on a big project or attending late-night meetings, you're convinced it's just part of her career grind. You bring her coffee, tell her how proud you are of her hard work, and cheer her on. But here's the dark reality. Those work late nights, they're actually reserved for her affair. She's perfected this deception. Every detail is meticulously planned. The late-night phone calls from clients, that's her scheduling time with him. The weekend business trips, that's her and her lover sneaking off to a romantic cabin while you're at home, telling the kids why mommy can't make it to their school play. The most chilling part? She doesn't just lie about where she is. She uses your pride in her professional success as the perfect cover-up. You feel good about supporting her, but in reality, she's using your respect for her career to deepen the betrayal. And when she gets home, she's exhausted. Not from work, but from the emotional effort of keeping the lies straight. You're the one comforting her, massaging her shoulders, bringing her tea after a long, hard day of cheating. You think you're supporting her, but you're actually supporting her deception. But this trick is just the tip of the iceberg. The next tactic she uses is even more insidious, creating false intimacy. You won't believe how far she'll go to make you feel everything's fine. Clue 4. The innocent selfie distraction. You probably think those selfies she sends you are just cute little gestures, proof that she's thinking about you throughout her day. But what if I told you those seemingly innocent pictures are part of a much darker game? This is the innocent selfie distraction, and it's the perfect way to keep you emotionally connected to her while she's emotionally checked out. Here's how it works. Every day, you get a steady stream of adorable updates, her smiling at the coffee shop, a quick snapshot of her lunch, a sweaty gym selfie. It feels like she's sharing her life with you, and you feel closer to her, more involved. But what you don't know is that these photos are not spontaneous. They're planned, rehearsed, and manipulated to create a false sense of closeness. Each week, she spends hours creating this fake timeline of her life. She'll go to the same Starbucks, change outfits, and take photos at different times of the day. Each photo designed to show you exactly what she wants you to believe. These aren't real-time updates. They're carefully curated, each photo positioned to make you feel emotionally invested in her daily routine. She even uses different lighting and background props to make sure it looks authentic. While you're texting back with heart emojis and feeling good about the connection, she's sitting somewhere else, probably in a hotel room with her lover, while her pre-scheduled photos are going out automatically. What's more unsettling is how this manipulation makes you question your own instincts. You're left thinking, she's so thoughtful, why would I ever suspect her? But creating fake closeness is just one tool in her manipulative arsenal. The next trick will leave you reeling as she starts to rebuild your emotional bond, and you won't see it coming. Clue 5. The connection reset. After every betrayal, there's a moment when things seem to change. Suddenly, she's the loving, affectionate wife you've been missing. She starts cooking your favorite meals, planning date nights, and bringing back that spark you thought was lost forever. It feels like a fresh start. But don't be fooled. This is the connection reset, and it's a psychological manipulation designed to cover her tracks and make you forget what's really going on. Here's how it plays out. Each time she's been with her affair partner, guilt starts to settle in. Instead of confessing or admitting her wrongdoing, she transforms into the perfect wife, the woman you fell in love with. Suddenly, she's affectionate again, initiating closeness like she hasn't in months. You start thinking, maybe things really are getting better. Maybe I was wrong to suspect her. But the truth is, this sudden shift in behavior isn't a sign of positive change. It's her overcompensating for the guilt she feels about her affair. She's trying to erase the emotional distance between you and her, and to distract you from the fact that she's emotionally checked out with someone else. What you don't realize is that her affection isn't coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of guilt. She's trying to ease her conscience by making you feel like things are improving, while you're left believing that your marriage is finally on the right track. She's resetting the emotional tone of your relationship, making you think everything is fine, just so she can keep her affair going undetected. But this emotional manipulation is just the start. The next trick is even more devastating, as she uses false emotional connection to keep you engaged while she plans her next betrayal. Clue 6. The small lies, big cover. It starts with the little things. She's always been a stickler for details, but lately, she's been slipping up. You might think, it's just a small lie, no big deal. But this is the start of the small lies, big cover, a tactic designed to break down your ability to detect deception, one minor lie at a time. And by the time you realize it, you're no longer questioning the big lies. You've already been trained to accept them. Here's how it plays out. It's not about her lying directly to you about the affair. Instead, she starts feeding you small, harmless lies that make you second-guess yourself. I'll be home in 20 minutes, when it's really 40. Sorry, I didn't hear the phone ring, when you know she saw your missed call. The lies are subtle, so subtle that they're easy to dismiss. And that's the point. Each time you overlook these small inaccuracies, she's teaching you not to question her, not to dig deeper. As the lies build up, your instincts begin to fade. You stop noticing the discrepancies. When she says she's just finishing up a meeting, but you know she's been gone for hours, you don't ask any more questions. You've been trained to accept the minor inaccuracies as normal. And the more you accept, the harder it becomes to catch her in the bigger lies, like where she really is when she says she's working late. This gradual conditioning leads you to trust her again, to believe in her honesty, even though it's all a facade. And before you know it, you're the one convincing yourself that everything's fine. But here's where it gets even darker. This is only the beginning. The next trick will break down your ability to trust anyone, not just her. Clue 7. The comparison trap. If she started comparing you to other men, don't brush it off as harmless. The comparison trap is a dangerous psychological tactic that reveals who she's really thinking about. And it's not you. When a woman is emotionally detached and invested elsewhere, she won't always admit it outright. Instead, she plants seeds of doubt in your mind, comparing you to someone else in her life. It starts innocently enough. Maybe she mentions how Mike at work always knows how to make her laugh, or how David from the gym is so much more in shape than you. At first, it seems like friendly chatter, but each comparison chips away at your self-esteem and plants the idea that you're not measuring up. She's testing the waters, and it's no accident. These casual mentions are a way of telling you, without saying it directly, that she's found someone else who holds her attention in ways you no longer do. What's more insidious is that these comparisons aren't just about external traits. They're about the emotional connection she's no longer getting from you. By comparing you to someone else, she's subtly telling you that she's emotionally investing in someone who satisfies her needs in ways you no longer can. Each comparison makes you feel inadequate, and the more you accept it, the deeper she digs into the emotional distance between the two of you. She'll do this so often that you start second-guessing yourself. The more she mentions how other men are so much better at this or that, the more you begin to feel like you're falling short in the eyes of the woman you love. But this isn't just about making you feel bad. The next trick is about making you feel crazy for even questioning her behavior. It's manipulation at its finest. You won't believe what happens next. Clue 8. The gaslighting technique. You've probably felt it before. The overwhelming sense that something isn't quite right, but every time you confront her about it, you end up feeling like the crazy one. The gaslighting technique is one of the most dangerous forms of manipulation she uses to make you question your reality. Here's how it works. You notice subtle changes in her behavior, phone, or schedule. Your gut tells you something is off, but when you bring it up, she denies everything with such conviction that you start to doubt yourself. You're just being paranoid, Or, "You're overthinking it. Nothing's going on." She's not just dismissing your concerns, she's distorting the truth to make you feel like you're imagining things. This manipulation makes you question everything you see and feel. What's worse, she'll insist that you're the one creating problems out of nothing, making it harder for you to trust your own instincts. She's not just lying about her actions, she's making you doubt your perception of reality. Gaslighting doesn't stop with words. It seeps into every interaction. The more you start questioning yourself, the more control she gains. You stop trusting your gut, and before long, you're doubting even the most obvious things. By the time you realize what's happening, you've been worn down emotionally. But the next phase of manipulation is even worse. It's not just about gaslighting anymore. She'll turn you into the bad guy for noticing what's happening. Get ready, because this will flip everything you thought you knew. Clue 9. The emotional withdrawal. At first, you might think it's just a rough patch, something everyone goes through in a long relationship. But the emotional withdrawal is more than just a phase. It's a sign that her heart and mind have already moved on, and she's emotionally invested elsewhere. Here's how it plays out. She stops sharing her day with you. The deep conversations that once made you feel connected fade away, replaced with brief, surface-level exchanges about the kids or the bills. You try to engage with her, asking about her thoughts, her feelings, but her responses are vague, distracted, and unenthusiastic. She's no longer emotionally present, and what's worse, she's not interested in making an effort to reconnect with you. This withdrawal isn't accidental, it's intentional. When a woman begins to emotionally pull away, it's often because she's found someone else to fill the void you used to occupy. The emotional distance grows over time, and the more you try to reach her, the more she retreats. You're left feeling lonely, isolated, and confused, wondering where the connection went. But the key here is that it's not about you. It's about her guilt and her need to avoid confronting the truth. The more she withdraws, the easier it becomes to maintain her affair. This emotional distance is the final setup for what's coming next. The next trick will not only isolate you emotionally, but also make you question everything. Clue 10. The final deception. You've seen the signs, felt the shifts, and maybe even caught glimpses of the truth, but the final deception is the most insidious of them all. This is when she finally gets caught, or at least you think she does. The truth comes crashing down, but instead of confessing or showing remorse, she pulls out the ultimate manipulation card. She makes you the villain. Here's how it happens. Maybe you've finally confronted her. Maybe you've caught her in a lie, or you've uncovered something that can't be ignored anymore. You expect an apology, a tearful confession, or at the very least, an honest conversation. Instead, what you get is a wave of denial and defensiveness. She flips the script and accuses you of being too controlling, too suspicious, or too paranoid for ever questioning her. She might say things like, "Why don't you trust me? You're just being insecure," or "You're making this all up in your head." The problem is, you're not making it up. You're seeing the truth. But instead of owning up to her betrayal, she turns the tables, using your concern against you. Suddenly, you're the one who feels guilty for doubting her, and she plays the innocent victim, crying about how unfairly she's being treated. This is the final phase of her emotional manipulation. The guilt she feels isn't because she's cheating, it's because she's been caught, and rather than take responsibility, she shifts the blame, making you feel like you're the one who's wrong for questioning her behavior. See you in the next video.